Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Making Fun of the News. This episode covers January 16th to the 29th. A 13-year-old girl was arrested in Nebraska for driving over 100 miles per hour on the highway, and it was on a school night. After the police finally caught up to her and got her to pull over and asked her what the hell she was doing, she said she was a Girl Scout just trying to earn her Grand Theft Auto badge. A police search of the car found an 11-year-old boy, a gun, marijuana, and drug paraphernalia, which is a really hard word to spell and pronounce, especially for an 11-year-old kid on drugs. The little speed demon who drove from Colorado not only crossed state lines, she crossed a lot of highway safety traffic lines, and now she's making headlines. And soon she'll be doing lines of cocaine while singing Rocky Mountain High. She should have told police that she was just doing homework, studying to prepare for her driver's ed exam in 2 years. Or I guess instead of homework, it's more like road work. She was also practicing for when she gets married and drives her husband crazy. The police did not identify her because she's a minor, but they were overheard whispering that she's a major pain in the ass. Her parents now call her grounded for life. I feel like maybe I'm doing too many of these red carpet roasts, but it's currently award season in Hollywood, and there's just so many bad fashion choices that I cannot resist criticizing them. So speaking of criticizing, here's a red carpet roast of the latest Critics' Choice Awards. Anya Taylor-Joy displayed one of my biggest criticisms of women's red carpet fashion. It's elegant on top, but community pool loungewear on the bottom. Niecy Nash paid tribute to Aretha Franklin and said, "Look, Ma, no straps." I debated showing these pictures, but hopefully somebody laughed. Ha! I did. 24-year-old Elle Fanning wore a dress that looks more age-appropriate for some 70-year-old lady in the year 1500 after she just stepped off the Mayflower boat after being stuck on it for the past 2 months. Hopefully her next movie role can be a seamstress where she can learn some tips on how to do some last-minute patch-ups. This dude is wearing a hickey hider, which I just came up with when I saw this picture. Not sure it's going to take off and become a catchphrase all across the world. Doubt it. Anyway, I called him this dude because his name is DeFaro Woon Atai. I guess he's multiracial, black, Egyptian, and Asian. Julia Garner. Damn, she's white. On her way to the award show, the police pulled her over for driving while albino. I always complain about these horrible outfits, but to me, this is a look done right on the red carpet. It's all one color, one style, classy, and her junk ain't hanging out. I don't know, maybe she doesn't have junk. She probably went to recycling before the show. A 29-year-old female college graduate enrolled as a freshman at a high school in New Jersey. No, the school mascot is not a cougar. New Brunswick High School is home of the zebras and jackasses. Hai Jong-shin was expelled after only 4 days, so tragically, she will not be able to take this limo to the Jersey Shore for prom weekend. She provided a fake birth certificate, trying to trick school officials into thinking that she was a teenager by writing her birth year as, like, 14 years ago. The mother of one of the students said she was concerned that parents are always the last to know. I'm smiling because I'm about to say, I'm concerned that her eyebrows are going to wash away after a hot shower. But it's nice to see that she and her daughter have matching mother-daughter nose rings. Eye roll. After the controversy, the school board held a meeting, which looks like it has the same number of audience members as a Christina Aguilera concert. The woman said she wanted to go back to high school because her best friends in life have been lunch ladies. Oh, wait, that was me who said that. Well, at least Hai Jong can look forward to making new friends in the New Jersey State Prison. A town in England painted a white traffic line that had a curved shape that upset a lot of residents, so they took to the street and formed a conga line as a way to protest. No, Gloria Estefan did not cross the ocean to lead the parade. Come on, Chicken Mama, say you do that beat now. Next. The wavy lines were added as part of the town's plans to introduce a bicycle path as well as to try and reduce unwanted parking. No word on how the town plans to reduce unwanted conga lines. Maybe they should paint it black. Next. One of the protest signs stated, "Our councilors are drunk and stupid." In response, two of the councilors held up a sign of their own that said, "Our residents are drunk, stupid, and horrible dancers." Even Mickey Mouse joined the protesters in the conga line, while Minnie Mouse stayed at the local pub getting drunk with the councilors. The protest organizer posted online with the title, "Wavy Wriggle to Save Our Seafront," which technically was written in English, but I can't figure out what it means. The last time the townspeople protested, they did the lambada to protest too many clouds in the sky. I don't blame these people for complaining because driving in England is already confusing enough. I went to England in summer of 2008 and I drove on the opposite side of the road. They have it all wrong over there. They drive on the wrong side of the road and the steering wheel is on the opposite side. So in 17 days, I drove over the curb 22 times. So that was fun. Here's another story about protesters in Europe. Don't they have anything better to do over there? Do they not have Netflix and chill? Protesters gathered in a town in Germany, which I won't even try to pronounce the name of it because it'll just be a disaster, like George Santos. They were there to complain about demolishing an entire village just to expand a coal mine. The police tried to control the protesters, but their boots kept getting stuck in the mud, which is pretty funny, while the protesters just stood there taunting them. Maybe they could submit the video to Germany's Funniest Home Videos and win 10,000 bottles of Heineken. It looks way too cold to be protesting anything, especially anything related to global warming. Everyone's favorite ball of sunshine, Greta Thunberg, showed up to bring attention to their cause. The protesters started 2 years ago, but it took Greta that long to ride her bike from Sweden to Germany. She said Germany is one of the biggest polluters in the world and needs to be held accountable. Meanwhile, China said, "Hold my smokestacks." Here is Greta testing a new emissions-free way of traveling called being carried by 3 police officers. Imagine if they dropped her in the mud. That would definitely win World's Funniest Coal Mine Field Videos. There is never good news coming out of Paris. No, I'm not talking about Paris Hilton announcing she had her first baby this week because technically the baby came out of her surrogate and not her. Anyway, this story is about another horrible fashion show in Paris, France. Musical artist Doja Cat looked like the offspring of a leper who mated with Kool-Aid Man. My parents have one of these in front of their fireplace. Pfft. This looks like something from an episode of I Love Lucy. Kylie Jenner showed up with a fake lion's head covering her fake chest. I don't know who would buy these and wear these other than a virgin going to a frat party. Oscar nominations were announced this week, and the biggest story was that British actress Andrea Riseborough was nominated in the Best Actress category, which left a lot of people saying, "I don't know her." The film is called To Leslie, where she played an alcoholic mother from Texas who squandered her lottery winnings. The film only made $27,000 at the box office, so Andrea squandered her salary campaigning for an Oscar. I guess some people think that only well-known people can be good actors and get nominated for Oscars, but I think if some British chick can convince people that she's an alcoholic from Texas, then she deserves an Oscar nomination. Or a free beer. Meanwhile, the opposite of the Oscars, the Razzies, announced their nominees for the worst actors of the year, but later they had to apologize because they nominated a 12-year-old girl who starred in the movie Firestarter. The Razzies said they would update their policy to only nominate horrible actors over the age of 18 in the future, because who cares about the feelings of people who are old enough to vote? You have to be 18 to vote, right? Also, it's probably not a good idea to make fun of somebody who starred in a movie called Firestarter, which was a reboot of the movie starring Drew Barrymore, who commented and criticized the Razzies, saying that only horrible people would make fun of a child. So I guess that's the end of this story. Famous neat freak Marie Kondo said her house is messy after having 3 children. I bet that's not the only thing that's messy after having 3 children. I don't even know what that means, but we know it's highly inappropriate what we're all thinking. Anyway, Marie became famous a few years ago after encouraging people to tidy up their homes and declutter as a way to restore calmness and spark joy in their lives. Now, Marie yells at her kids to go to bed so she can spark a joint. Marie is promoting her new book, which stresses the importance of cleaning up emotional spaces, also known as your brain. So, if your house is a mess, but you're happy, save your money and do not buy any of her books because that's two less objects you'll have to eventually get rid of.